Hi everyone, this is Miss Jess from the Monroe Street Art Center, and I have a project for you for your art kit number 9. Thank you again to everyone that has been ordering these art kits and following along for the last 9 weeks. It's been super fun and we're going to keep it rolling. So the first video for this kit is to make a little potted wildflower. Inside of your kits you guys have potting soil. We have a little cardboard container that we're going to plant our wildflowers in. There's a teeny tiny bag of wildflower seeds, and that's going to be sort of the second part of this project. There's also rocks in your kit. There is some moss in your kit. I've got a little glow-in-the-dark bug in here. And we're going to use all of this stuff to make a really cool potted plant, okay? So the first part of this project, and actually my container is going to look a little bit different than yours. Yours is a circular and mine is a square. But it's the same idea. So the first thing we're going to do is actually paint the outside of it, make it look kind of fancy. Mine, I did sort of a two-step process where I painted it with my acrylic paint first. You guys will also have 2 options of colors in your kit, so you can use both of those or either one for this project. I started by painting the whole thing red, letting it dry completely, and then I actually did these details on mine with a Sharpie. So I could use paint or Sharpie again on this one. I'm not quite sure what I want to do yet. This time I think I'm going to use, I just have a tube of black acrylic paint that I'm going to use today. So I've also got a palette that I'm going to put it on. I've got my paintbrush and water container ready to go too. Okay, so I'm going to get a hefty amount of paint here. Okay, now the thing you're going to want to do when you take your brush out of the water, we don't need to add any extra water to this paint. It's already ready to go. So sometimes what I'll do is just kind of wipe it on, I guess, my table, or if you have a paper towel to dry it off on, right? So we don't add any more water. All right, and we might get a little messy during this step. Acrylic paint is kind of tricky to get out of clothes, so if you want to pause for a second, go grab an art smock or, you know, a giant old oversized t-shirt or something. It's not a bad idea. Make sure that you're painting on a surface that won't get ruined. Maybe put some newsprint down first. The rest of this process, I am going to be doing this inside of a cooking tin. Just because I don't want to get dirt all over my house. Or if you wanted, you could do the second part of this project outside if it's a nice day. All right, so as you guys can see, I'm just kind of going back and forth with my brush, big strokes to get the whole thing covered. On mine, I've got this little ledge around the top. I'm not sure if yours has that too. Feel free to cover that up also, because you can see the top of it. If we're going to plant flowers in it, you'll still see that part. So I want to make sure I'm covering the whole thing up. Okay, looking good. This is the part where our fingers are going to get a little messy because I do have to turn it to get the other side, but I'm not too worried about it. I'll wash my hands as soon as I'm done. Okay, now obviously since this is a multi-step project, you're going to have to sort of have some drying time in between. What I'll do is share some other videos for you guys so that while you're waiting for this one to dry, maybe you want to work on one of the other projects for this kit. Okay, I've got sort of one last side to get here. Actually, I'm getting some ideas. With this black paint, I do have a really cool gold marker that would show up really great on this. Maybe I'll do that. All right. This part is all filled in. Ta-da. Okay, I'm not going to bother doing the bottom because it's going to be sitting on a surface somewhere and I'll never see it. So I'm going to let this dry. Okay, put my brush back in my water. Make sure it's the right water container. And then I'm going to go wash my hands right away, okay? So take your time, have fun decorating this part. Once it's dry, I'll come back and sort of show you guys the second part of this project, okay? All right, you guys, so my paint is finally dry and I was able to put some gold details over the top of it. Like I said, I had this really awesome gold metallic like marker paint pen, and that's what I used to do my details. I just drew like a funky eyeball on it. But you can use your acrylic paint, you could use Sharpies, or you could do marker details on top of it if you wanted to. Okay, so now comes the fun part where we're gonna plant our little tiny wildflower seeds, and then we're gonna deck out the top of it to make a happy place for our flowers to start to sprout and grow. I even have a little sign telling me what I planted in here in case I forget. I am planting a lot of other things right now. Okay, so this is ready to go, totally dry. The first thing I'm gonna do is take my bag of soil and open it up. You could use a spoon if you want to sort of portion out how much you want to put in. Since you do have 2 of these containers, if you save some of your soil for the second one, you guys can make 2 of these, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and fill it up about 75% of the way. So almost full, but not quite. I'll hold it up in a second too. Okay, so I've got a little bit of space around the top that I'm leaving. Okay, now your tiny, tiny bag is full of wildflower seeds. So this was actually a little collection of, it was a variety of wildflowers, native wildflowers. So I cannot wait to see which ones will sprout and grow because I love wildflowers. Okay, so I just open it up here. I'm gonna take one finger and I'm gonna poke a hole straight down into my dirt. Maybe like 1 inch, inch and a half. And then carefully take your seeds. What am I doing, huh? And put your seeds in. Ta-da! Now I'm going to kind of cover up that hole, and I can use the remainder of my soil to fill it up almost to the top. And I'm just going to kind of lightly press down, right? Kind of pack your soil in. Just don't want big things. Beep, 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 beep. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit more. All right. Perfect. Okay. Full up, packed it down nice. So another thing that I thought would be nice is to make a little sign for your little flowers. So I just had an extra strip of just like white paper lying around, and I wrote wildflowers on it. You could decorate it if you wanted to, like this one. I did decide to add a flower to it. Okay. So with this, I'm actually going to use a toothpick, and I'm going to wrap it around the end of my toothpick here, and I'm going to secure it with a little piece of tape. So I just have masking tape I'm going to use here. Rip a piece off, okay, and then I can add this to my toothpick. Okay, maybe I'll tuck this around. Alright, whatever, it looks like it'll stay. Cool, so now I've got my sign. Can poke that in, okay? Other things that you guys can add, you probably have a tiny little glow-in-the-dark critter or creature. This one is like a snake. I could set him on top, maybe it'll spook somebody out. There's all different kinds. Some of them are spiders or bugs or beetles. So those can have a little home inside of your flower garden if you want to. What else? There was those rocks from your art kit, right? If you wanted to decorate those, or I could use any of the ones that I did earlier. Maybe this is where Yoda's gonna live. Baby Yoda. Look how happy he looks, okay? And then there is some random pieces of moss hanging around in your art kit. If you wanted to, you could set those inside too. A little cozy spot. Of course, once your little flowers start to bloom, you might want to clear a spot away so that your flowers can start to grow. But until then, this looks super cute. It's super fun. You guys can sort of watch it grow, a little science experiment, okay? Never a bad idea that after you plant something, you should water it. So I've actually got a little bit of water here, and so I'm going to go ahead and add some to my soil, okay? Anyways, I'll update you guys if mine starts to grow. I can share pictures. I would love to see how you guys decided to decorate your containers for your wildflowers, okay? So have fun with this. Again, if it's a nice day, you guys could probably do this part outside. It'll spare the mess of having to use dirt inside the house, okay? So have fun.